Hello everyone. Today I am going to describe the topic conversion, and this is related to the conversion of felled trees at the site of felling. And there are some general conditions regarding the conversion, as why conversion is needful, and what are the procedures or what is its importance also. Okay, the conversion of trees in the forest may include the preparation of timber to meet the demand of all the classes of market, or whether local or distant, as per size, as per their shape also. Okay, the conversion itself is generally taken to mean the process of producing sawn timber from the logs, or itself from the felled tree also. Okay, a rough classification of timber in the commercial sense is being herein. Uh, what are the rough conversion actually? The timber in the round or log form are at one hand, then roughly converted timber or timber, those are squared with the help of axe, are usually called box or rough squares. Okay. Then the third category is sawn timber, that is after using saws such as squares, beams, sleepers, scantlings, and planks. There are so many other form of the sawn timber. Okay, so these are three categories actually. Those are being prepared after conversion of the felled logs or felled trees. Then we comes to log making, why it is necessary or what is the importance of log making. Okay, log making consists of the cross cutting of felled tree into desired length or sections, and it also includes the trimming of short large branches to make the bole clear for easy sawing or cutting. As we know, this trimming or this removal of branches of felled tree is also known as liming. Okay, if the same is done on the standing tree, then it will be known as pruning. Okay, the length of logs to be cut is usually depend on the market demand and to facilitate the transport facilities also. If you are having carts, if you are having railway wagons, if you are having long large trucks, then you will make appropriate length according to the available transport facilities also. And if it is the basis of human back transport, then it will be converted to a small size or a small length due to heavy weight also. Okay, and it is not possible to carry on soldier back to this much of weight. Okay, because in some hilly tract there is no or no feasibility or no accession of clear roads to carry by more than 10 people or more than 5 people once a log or a piece of that log. Okay, then we have uh, weight of log, as I mentioned, is also limiting factor for various transport needs. Okay, after trimming or this liming, as I have mentioned, bole is measured and cut at the desired length with the help of cross cut saw, or this cross cutting will always be start from butt end. Okay, towards the taper end, right? The precautions should be also taken against the damaging of saw, so wedges can be used to avoid the obstacle just for smooth running of that saw during this cross cutting. Okay, after this, logs may be debarked when required, or this is generally done to reduce the weight for transport purposes, if that there is the only possible mean on human backs or human shoulders. Okay, then we move. There are some purposes of log making, and almost these are the the headings, or these are the points. Those are discussed in this earlier slide also, as why log making is necessary. Okay, first of all, reduction of weight for transportable material. As I have mentioned, generally it is impossible to transport the entire tree. Thus, the clean bole must be cut into sections of desired length that can be transported easily and economically. Okay, and if it is on a human soldier, then the weight should be as proper. Okay, if that is taken up by 4 or 5 or 10 people, or the pathways in hilly tract especially should be accordingly. If the tract are very tough or undulating terrains are there, then there may the use of only 2 or 3 people for one log. It means it should be more smaller in size in that condition. Okay. Then we comes to elimination of defects and unusable portions. There are some notes, there are some uh, sacks, there may some other defects, those may present in some portion of wood, then it could be removed at the time of this cross cutting also. Okay. The small knotty or other defective portions cannot be considered profitable, obviously. Further, sacky, cracks and decayed portions should be eliminated while marking the length of log before cross cutting. It will be not worthy to transport such type of material also by implying cost or labor therein. Okay. Then adaptation to the method of transport, as mentioned here also at number 1. Log length may also depend on the method of transport available for possible therein, such as manual, animal, carts, roadways, railways, trucks, etc. Okay. Accordingly, length will be set in. Nowadays, power and mechanical implements and devices permits the large length or logs also, as JCB machines are there, various other type of tools and machines are there, but it is only possible in the plain ground or plain forest areas only. Okay. Then we comes to next. This is adaptation to the market requirement, and this is main one. Logs are generally cut to suit the special order or general market demand. Therefore, it may vary from area to area and nature of the species also. Okay. And next, what are the factors those determine the log length? Again, these are same type of things are mentioned here, and as mentioned, general market demand, then means of transport, the nature of the species, and type of material also. Okay. The choice between conversion into round timber or sawn timber depends on number of considerations, and these are here, like the demand of market. In some localities, the whole outturn may be sellable in the form of round timber. In others, the demand for logs may be small or be restricted to some special industries such as match or pulpwood manufacturer, or the production of some special minor forest produce such as kutch and katha. Then logs will be used therein. Then we have availability of skilled labor. If the cross cutting is necessary, then always skilled personnel are needful to use the cross cut saws or simple saws, or sometimes chainsaw or power saw also. Okay. In many localities, skilled labor cannot be found in sufficiently large number. Okay. Because there may engagement in some other works also, because this is a temporary or nomadic type of work only. Sometimes the localities may be too remote also to make importing sawyers worth the while. Okay. The skilled personnel are sometimes not easy to get in for your work at your time only. Okay. It is usually easier to obtain labor for cross cutting into the logs, or bucking as it is sometimes called, than for conversion into sawn timber. Okay. Log making and this cross cutting is quite easy than making the sawing itself in the forest, right? Then there may next factor, that is sawmills. Erection of sawmills may be justified if the forest can produce a large and sustained yield of wood of species for which a market exists also. Okay. And in that case, extraction would be in the form of logs for conversion in the sawmill. Portable sawmills are also there, and that can also be set up or new the forest if roads exist for the transport of such sawmills to the site, and these are quite easy to set up and to make it fold again also for new area. Okay. These are portable sawmills. Okay. And topography of country or area, this is a dominating factor to be considered during log making, and it is very outside of any extraction scheme, together with the length of load and the available method of transport. In any extensive scheme in hilly country, it becomes necessary to work each valley of or similar topographical features as a separate extraction unit. Further, sowing at stump site is frequently restored for this purpose, and the sown produce transport by manual labor to be nearest carting, cable hauling or floating depot in such areas. If topography is undulating, then it should be this, as mentioned here, the sowing at stump site will be done only, okay. Because there is no way to transport whole log or whole clean clear length tree to the next area without making its in different sections, okay. Then we have next factor, that is damage to the forest during the process of conversion. While we are making this liming process also, or uh, the leaves or twigs and small or large branches are scattered here and there, and those just sometime covers the regeneration of any age for sometime longer period, or this may also liable to the fire incidents during any season, because the laborers working therein may also go for their fooding. They prepare their food in the forest itself by using these material only, and there may chance of fire, okay. So with conversion into the sawn timber at stump site, large accumulations of slash and refuses are left in the forest, and these create danger from fire and instantly conditions, okay, except in cases where demand exists for scrap wood also as fuel. Log extraction may have beneficial effect, as the soil is bounded during extraction. A minimum of refuse is left behind, and sowing at the stump site is wasteful and should therefore be restored to only when uh, necessary, okay. As far as possible, the trees should be extracted from the forest in log form and converted in a sawmill for further utilization or further sizes or further shapes of that particular wood piece, okay. Then there are some allowances for trimming also, or cross cutting or log making also. What are these are discussed herein. To provide for the subsequent shrinkage, allowances is given in the forest, in the logs and sawn timber, okay. Because in the due course, the sawn timber with when exposed to sunlight or exposed to air, it will get synced in due course, or there may shortage in length if it was demanded for particular size. So therefore, some centimeters or some inches are given extra to that log piece or that sawn timber piece, okay. The allowance in log length varies from 5 to 10 centimeter, but in case of large timber it could be 10 to 30 centimeter or more due to that shrinkage problem, okay. The allowance is given more in case of logs and materials to be floated, okay, then those transported by trucks. In case of this water transport, there may more chance of rapid drying of log pieces when they expose to air or sunlight. And in case of sawn timber, okay, especially in sawn timber, usually allowance in length, breadth and depth being given are 7.5 centimeter as standardized values, 2 centimeter for breadth and 1.2 centimeter for depth, okay. These are some standard size for allowance, extra material on that final log piece or final sawn timber piece, okay. A definite allowance should be prescribed for the logs and sawn timber and standardized in each locality, right. Felled trees converted into logs and various other forms at felling site in the forest or outside, either by hand or by the saws, portable saws. The general rule is to follow is that the conversion should involve least possible waste to the converting tree as well as to surrounding vegetation, okay. Logs can be rough squared in the forest by means of axe into the box or rough square when it is necessary, okay. Then it is reduced to weight of timber to facilitate the transport, right. Then Next we have go to this conversion of timber at or outside the forest. There sometimes there may condition exist to favor the conversion at inside forest also, or sometimes it is not permissible or it is not feasible to do it at the felling site only, and economically also, then it could be converted outside the forest if the transport facilities are available, right? The timber can be converted in various sawn forms, and the method extensively used in the country is conversion of tree in the forest only, and it is perhaps the only possible method of conversion in the remote and inaccessible forest. However, with the increased truck transportation and use of mechanized equipments, it is now possible to make the conversion process outside the forest also. Okay, the conversion is being done with machines, sawings, either inside or outside the forest. Is nowadays very popular. The logs are transported to the sawmill site and sawn in the requisite sizes. Further, nomenclature of sawn material varies from place to place, but following are some of the common size and names given in the market, and these are as names are given as per the locality only. Okay, like here we have squared timber; those are roughly converted, and the very first one is squares. These are completely squared, or rectangular. There is no vein. Okay, these are also rough converted material. Okay. Then we have veiny box, as I have discussed in other chapters also. I would like to mention here. Suppose we have this log section. Okay, then if we are going to sacrifice very less amount of timber from this log, then we will have like this here this one, then the resulted one will be like this. It is not correctly given here in like this. So here, if we are talking about veiny box, then this is roughly converted material, or there are round corners. All four corners are round, and it is known as veiny box. If it was like this whole square after conversion, then it is square here. Okay. If we are talking about half box, then we will be do like this. Only two corners will be round, and remaining two corners will be sharpened corners. Okay, this is half veiny box. Or if we are talking about the all four corners round, then it will be veiny box. Okay, then we move to next hakris. These are resulted after uneven falling of the tree, that is like splitting into uneven portions of that log, or resultant will be like this, and this is the piece, or it is not usable for any timber purpose, any construction purpose. This is having conical end at one side, or this is like, okay, so not square, not round, and it will not even use for pole purposes also. That is known by hakris, or it is the local language only. Okay, then the poles are there. These are the rounded products of varying length. These are small branches sometimes. These are sometimes pole stage of any species that is sometimes sacrificed during felling or conversion of trees. So these products are round in form. Okay, and as I have mentioned by these figures, these are the rough conversion of trees of felled logs. Then we move to next category, that is sawn timber, or these are the various converted forms like beams. These are more than 4 meter in length, and cross section not less than 15 centimeter in that end cross section. Okay, then scantlings are there. These are square or rectangular, generally under 15 centimeter in section. Okay, then we move to next category, that is blocks, and these are the pieces of short length, while with square surface. Okay, these are quite sharpened, having all of these are quite having sharpened corners, all four corners. Then we have planks. These are the wooden slabs with 1 feet width, 5 to 10 centimeter thickness with varying lengths. Okay, it may be 5 feet, 8 feet, 10 feet, 12 feet. Okay, but not more than 12 feet. Okay, then we have next railway sleeper. These are more commercially used material, and it may be of different sizes, like broad gauge, and these are measurements, then meter gauge with these measurements, then narrow gauge with this and this measurement, and then light narrow gauge also in hilly tract. Okay, and these are the measurement of the sleepers for narrow gauge, light narrow gauge. Okay, then we move to next section of this topic, and this is with hand sewing or machine sewing. Okay, what are the benefit, what are the disadvantages of these both type of sewings? Hand sewing in forest is the most common conversion method used in forest in India, and in certain cases compares favorably with the machine sewing. Okay, sections of converted material and longitudinal guidelines are marked on the end of logs. The expired log is then propped up at one end and sewn down the lines. Sockets may follow a radius or tangent in sewing. In the former case, entire width of medullary rays appears as small plates, those giving the effect of silver grain, and it is also known as quarter sawn or radially sawn timber. Medullary rays begins lustrous and harder, contribute generally to the beauty of that and durability of sawn timber. These are clearly shown in the hand sawn timber. Okay, then we have machine sawn, another category, and machine sewing under favorable conditions would usually help a profitable undertaking than hand sewing. Okay, these are less time consuming also and less labor consuming also. The increasing use is nowadays being made of sewing the material in the sawmills situated either in the forest or outside the forest or in the vicinity also. This has been made possible due to availability of electricity. Okay, machine sewing is more accurate than hand sewing, and conversion percentage is also higher. It will definitely save time and money also, or with more outputs with accurate corners, right? Then we have the arrangement or organization of felling and logging operations, and these are mentioned here. As I will go with few lines also. As felling, logging, and conversion are generally done by two-man crew. Okay, the two-man crew is normal working party. For felling in small tree, one man can also be appropriate. One man notches the tree by marking an undercut, while the other person prepare the ground for felling at the same time. Okay, then the two men fell the tree with a crosscut or chainsaw and prepare the stem. Then one man first measures off the logs while the other clears the board and cut away the bushes or trees which may interfere with the work. Okay, the equipment of each felling crew generally consists of felling axe, one crosscut or chainsaw, wedges, record files, and measuring sticks. Okay, a number of such crews constitute a group. Each crew should work alone and independently as far as possible. Right? Big crews increase wastage of time. Right? It is quite right thing mentioned here, and just reduce efficiency. If more number of people are there, it will definitely reduce the efficiency, because everyone look on the other's face that he will do the work. Okay, where two or more crews are employed, the area of work of each crew would be separated, so that they can work independently, or it will be more with more outputs. Okay, on a slope they should not work on the top of one another, right? And this is the organization or arrangement of labors for particular works, and it is clearly mentioned that only the crew of 2 to 3 person is sufficient for felling work, and once if they are getting tired with one tree, then the next crew could continue with that work, or if they are not having another crew with them immediately, then they can take rest for some time, and they can start again the work after that resting period. Okay, it will give them energy also. So this is all about the topic conversion, and hope everything is quite clear regarding this topic. Thank you.